I'm a realtor, and I attend local community council meetings in order to ensure that I am very informed of all the big issues that are impacting my clients now and that are going to impact them in the future. There are a lot of topics discussed at this week's community council meeting in Eagle River. One really did stand out to me that was discussed just because it continues to be an issue that is hotly debated in the Eagle River and Chugiak community. And you probably guessed it, the issue is, should Eagle River and Chugiak High School combine campuses? We were very lucky to have our Assembly member, Crystal Kennedy, attend the meeting and field questions about this very important topic. For those of you who don't know, the debate right now is whether or not we should combine the Eagle River and Chugiak High School campuses after the earthquake in November of 2018 that damaged Greening Middle School. Greening Middle School is so damaged that school could not be continued in that campus. After assessing the damages to the Greening building, they discovered that it's going to cost approximately $39 million in order to come in and repair the campus and get it ready to have students attend school there again. With the price tag being that high, a proposed idea has been that instead of repairing Greening Middle School, instead what's being proposed is that they actually combine the Eagle River High School and Chugiak High School together and simply have the campus from Greening move into the building that's at Eagle River High School right now. Some great articles kind of breaking down this topic is going to be one written by Scott Gross from KTVA, and another one that was written by Matt Tunseth that was published in the Anchorage Daily News, both of which were published in November. This is a very nuanced, complicated issue. I'm going to try to paint the picture for you in pretty broad strokes here. Those opposed to combining the high schools argue that, number one, combining the high schools is going to create a lot of overcrowding in Chugiak High School. The facilities were built for 1,618 students, and the combined campus would be 1,750. The Anchorage School District Chief Operating Officer Tom Roth believes that combining the campuses is going to return us to an overcrowded situation similar to what we had in 2005 when they built the second high school in the first place. Combining the schools is going to mean a longer commute time for many students. And lastly, with the addition of Powder Reserve, which is going to be 1,500 single-family homes, we are expected to see an increase in the student population. In order to accommodate that larger student population coming in, the argument is that we would need both high schools in order to accommodate. Those in favor of combining the high schools point out that it would be cheaper to combine the high schools right now and not to rebuild Greening, because rebuilding Greening at this point would cost approximately $39 million. That being said though, just because we don't go and spend the $39 million to fix it up doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be free if we just combine the high schools. As Crystal Kennedy pointed out during the meeting, the land on which Greening Middle School sits is actually leased from Eklutna. Part of the stipulation between the Anchorage School District and Eklutna is that if the land is not being used for a school, that the district will return the land to the state it was in before it was leased out. So, if we combine the high schools, Greening Middle School is going to have to be completely bulldozed and all the material taken out of there and have the land restored to where it was when the school was originally built. Having a combined campus is going to mean that students have more electives. And finally, when the Eagle River High School was built back in 2005, the student population at the time was right around 2,200. Now the student population is of high schoolers at least, is roughly 1,750. So the argument is that we have less of a student population than we did back then. It doesn't make sense to have two high schools that are completely separate. Again, very nuanced and complicated issue, and very, very broad strokes to give you a general idea. The community remains very divided on this issue. Dina Bishop, the Anchorage superintendent, sent out an online survey, and 2/3 of the respondents said they were in favor of combining the schools. Online petitions, though, sent out by students and other people in the community, shows that over double the people who responded are opposed to the idea of combining. What are your thoughts on this issue? Is the $39 million price tag of fixing up greening worth the ability to maintain 2 high schools in the area? Please post your comments below. That has been the big issue that we discussed during the community council meeting last night. I'm now going to give you a rapid fire of some of the other highlights that happened. The next municipal election is going to include voting on whether or not we should allow on-site smoking of marijuana. The proposed municipal budget includes $60,000 to go and study opening up a cemetery in the Chugiak and Eagle River area. There's discussion in the capital budget to actually go and replace Fire Station 11. J-Bear is going to be hosting an open house on December the 17th at the Mountain View Public Library, where they're going to be discussing the public access to the back of J-Bear. And last but not least, the local community patrol announced that we have actually seen an uptick in package pirates. These are essentially people who go around this time of year and wait for packages to be dropped off at people's doorsteps and swoop in, grab it, and they're gone. Thanks for watching. If you want to stay up to date on what's going on in your community, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. Please leave a comment down in the comment section if you have any questions, and I'd be more than happy to be a source of the information to help you to answer any questions you might have.